is that Totoro is herbivorous due to the fact that the only thing we really see him eat are acorns, and he doesn't really eat those in the movie. So, since there's a shot where they all have their mouths open, we can assume that Totoro is a herbivorous giant. So, we are going to get real life animal estimates and see what we can track from those. Now, I'm going to be using different animals as inspiration, and one of these is the giant ground sloth. And the why? Because they are both herbivorous giants with flattened teeth that can both stand up on two legs. Now, this one, he can actually stand on both four and two legs. This is my scientific Totoro. So, this is not the one from the movie, this is my own creation. So, I want to give my Totoro the claws of a ground sloth, because that would explain why he has fingers and would explain his overall giant physique. With that out of the way, now we're going to go with overall habitat, because my Totoro, although Totoro's diet is debated, but evidence points towards being a herbivore. But Totoro's actual creator, Hayao Miyazaki, once playfully described Totoro as a fearsome being and a carnivore, stating that the only reason he didn't eat the children was because he wasn't hungry. So with that out of the way, I don't want my Totoro to eat children, so he is going to be an omnivore. And first thing I'm going to have to do is slim him up. What do I mean? Well, as you can see, Totoro can move very fast even in his large form, but we have to give him a more realistic look. And what else is an omnivorous animal that has a lot of fat and is very big? That's right, bears. Specifically the panda bear and the Peruvian bear. These two bears are the most omnivorous bears. Now you see, neither of them have flat teeth. They both have very sharp canines. Meanwhile, our boy Totoro has flat teeth inside of his mouth. We cannot have that. We need to give him molars, like sharp teeth. Next thing we're going to have to do is decide his body posture. Now, I'm going to use a large mammal as an example. Brother, what do you think this surprise mammal is that's going to be the base for Totoro? Yeah, you can talk. Yeah, just speak.
I don't know, man. I think something very elegant. I think it's gonna be a very elegant animal. You know?
It's actually the grizzly bear.
Oh man. Well, it's elegant in its own way.
So the reason why I'm using the grizzly bear is because it's also a very large omnivorous mammal that can both walk on all fours and stand on two legs. Now, we're not only using the grizzly bear because we don't want this to just be some random beast of the forest. We want it to look like Totoro. And this is where this creature comes in. It's called the viscotta, and they're native to Peru, but they definitely do look like Totoro. Don't they, bro? These creatures look like Totoro.
Yes, they do.
So, I am going to base my Totoro's overall features like a viscacha, but I'm going to give him the nose of a panda and the overall body structure of a grizzly. Okay, so now we are going to be drawing his overall posture. Because, Totoro, I still want it to look like the cartoon, but sort of. Totoro is still a very big animal, so I have to make him a lot fatter than this grizzly. I'm going to make him a lot fatter This way, he still has that charm. And I'm going to make his arms a lot more lengthy and more human like in a sense. Because he's also inspired by the ground sloth, so he has very muscular arms and legs. Because real life Totoro, he has short legs and very big arms, but at the same time, this is not Totoro, this is my creation, which is a scientifically accurate Totoro. So Ghibli, you cannot sue me. So anyway, I'm going to give him human hands, sort of, but with claws at the end. And they're going to be very big. This Totoro is very big because I read the cookbook and it stated that he's 6 feet tall, which is very shocking to me of how small that is. Like in the movie, I assumed he was like at least a decent 8 to 7 feet, but no, he's 6. So, that out of the way, I'm gonna fix his claws. Alright, so I got one of his hands ready. Now we are going to get him and pull him a little bit aside. This way I can start working on the other features. I'm going to place the Viscotta's body right here so that I can clearly see him over this. And then I can start to use his like overall look sort of and kind of modify them to look Totoro like. Now it's time to give him his tail, and honestly, he could still have a baggy one. He doesn't need one that curls up like the Viscaccia. He still needs that baggy, classic tail. And similar to anteaters, my Totoro will walk on his knuckles. I know his hand is like this, but like that's to show you his claws. Right, like like right now, he's just walking on his knuckles. He drags them above so that he can keep his claws sharp when he needs to defend himself. So we're doing this. Totoro is still a very big animal, so I want to kind of make his toes a lot more nail, less actual toe. Because the thing is that he's big, but his hands are more important. Yeah, so I'm kind of working on this to kind of make it seem like he get actually used up. So my Totoro, like how Totoro is friendly with the girls and stuff, my Totoro is not. He's a lot more carnivorous, but he's gentle. He's a gentle giant, but just don't bother him. He's not a pacifist. Now my Totoro is gonna have a lot more realistic coloring. So in the sense that he's not just gonna have, like a couple at the bottom, one at the top. They're gonna basically run down his stomach like a real one. And anyway, I'm gonna start adding the texture. We're actually doing scientific versions of every single Totoro type. So this is just like the first Totoro. I'm kind of adding some of the colors because I still wanted to look like Totoro. I say sort of because this is my original character, definitely not Totoro. Oh no, I don't know who that is. In other words, I just don't want to get sued by Ghibli. I am sorry, Mr. Hayao Miyazaki. Forgive me. But my Totoro is a mustelid. He's a giant mustelid because he has sort of the descriptions. He has sort of a cat-like appearance, and he's very big with this long tail. So I kind of want to get something like that. Kind of get that bear physique in. Yeah, I think something like this would work. Yeah. And just like Totoro, he has big eyes. So let's kind of get those in. My Totoro. So these are these Totoros, the males and females look different. So I'm actually going to draw what I imagine a female Totoro to look like. This one is male. Now we are going to add the textures, his eyes and stuff. Similar to real animals, his eyes look kind of pitch black, but when he looks to the side, you can see the white of his eyes. So my Totoro's eye color is brown. Wait a second. His eyes are usually white, but like, what is his eye color? Oh, so his eyes are gray. I didn't know his eyes are gray. Wow, that is surely interesting. So anyway, let's draw his eyes. Now we're going to do kind of a little reset. So I did inspire him off of the panda with a short snout. Now I'm going to give him whiskers. I'm gonna give him three. Mainly for the fact that, why not? Gonna add the little textures, make them feel more realistic. So here is my scientific Totoro. So this is my scientific Totoro. I really like his design. Like that he looks very big. I was gonna add the tip of his ears. Still want to have that sharpness. And just like Totoro, he has a little fur on his ear, so I'm gonna add that. Yes, the fur is actually black. So like these lines, these are not like supposed to represent fur. No, that actually is his fur. So I'm gonna go add the blending. I actually went to Studio Ghibli Fest, like when they were showcasing their own movies. I actually watched Totoro and Ponyo. It was actually really good. No, I am not doing a scientifically accurate Ponyo though. Totoro is better than enough. And honestly, not gonna do the cat bust today. Only these creatures. So, got a bit more layer on his back. All right, my scientifically accurate Totoro is done. This is how he looks. Now let's get to medium Totoro. So I'm also gonna do a realistic version of these little guys, the suit sprites, and I find that pretty cool. So I'm gonna do that as well. But in the meanwhile, we are going to do blue Totoro. Now, blue Totoro is very simple. Blue Totoro and white Totoro. Now, I'm going to have a bit of an issue with White Totoro, but they both look like viscottas, so that's how I'm going to draw them, not as bears. How am I going to do both of them, you may ask? Well, simple. I'm going to go brush, switch back to my head, put it down here, and bring it up, and after I'm going to use mirror and lock. Then I'm going to sketch out what I want. Still has to look, still has to look like it. So, and then I will stop right here. I'll stop right here, and now I'm going to edit this one, which is going to be the little one. Now I'm going to use the kiwi bird as inspiration for the white Totoro, for the main fact that this one is also flightless, and also because they just look so similar for some reason. So I'm going to use that as some example right here. Yep, and time to get to work. Now mine is different. Mine has a neck. So in the original one, it doesn't really look like it has a neck. Mine does. And a good neck at that, which is why I am adding it. This one has a very strong neck and a smaller yet still visible tail. Now I'm going to add the little claws because I want this to be like a real animal, not just some strange looking creature. Like an animal that could actually survive. And unlike the real one, this one actually does have arms, although they are usually like this, like feathers or wings, but they actually have arms. They do actually have arms, and they can use them to defend themselves, but they just don't tend to show them. They bury it under their white fur. So now we're going to draw a little nose. Their nose is actually white, which is why you can't see it. And I'm actually gonna draw a giant white circle to be like the eye, except that the eye is in the middle, right here, thus giving the effect that it looks like the white Totoro, and it actually has a white nose. So there's white Totoro. Now, how about this one? This one is literally just a viscotta. I'm gonna give it the viscotta tail, a little bit more thicker. As a matter of fact, actually, I think I'll just give it the usual look because it kind of looks like a squirrel. Give it its look. Give it smaller yet very visible claws. So his feet are black. I want this one to actually kind of be inspired by a raccoon. So the end of its paws and feet are black, like so. I'm giving it smaller claws so that these smaller claws. Hold it for a second, guys. Okay, guys. So this is the Totoro. He's gonna have like little kind of black paws. And now I'm going to add his little features. There we go. Alright. So now I'm going to give this one the same treatment as the first with the eyes. That they look big, but they're actually small. So it gives the effect that it has eyes. But these actually do carry the suit sprites. Now for the suit sprite, I want it to be like an isopod or some sort of spider or arachnid. So just like in the what was that? Spirited Away. Just like in Spirited Away, these will have legs, except that they will be a lot shorter. A lot longer actually, like crab legs. So this is my suit sprite, and just like the others, this is just hair. They actually have tiny eyes. It's funny, Totoro is the only one that has the big eyes. So now let's edit them. So now I'm going to have to shade. As you can see, the suit sprite, or in this case, I call them Climpy crustaceans or ashy crustaceans. These clearly look like suit sprites, except that they have a hard shell with soft hair outside. That's making them look like this. And then there is the other Totoro. This is not Totoro. This is Vicky Viscotta. I'm thinking of making the names, so I can't call them Viscotta. So there's Viscotta X. So we're gonna add an X to him. Viscotta X, Viscotta A, and Viscotta B. So Viscotta B is a lot more. Wait, oh, wrong one. Viscotta B is a lot more timid than the other Viscottas. A lot more gentle. Doesn't have claws or paw pads, just kind of wings, sort of. And this is the only one of them that has feathers. Now, the males and females are literally identical. Like, actually, like, the only way you can tell who's who is when they're mating. But besides that, these two literally share no difference from one another. And he has small whiskers. So you could tell it's of a Scotch bee. Now, Viscotcha A is very, very fidgety. Viscotcha A and Viscotcha B are usually the ones that are most seen together because this species actually has a symbiotic relationship, since Viscotcha B will let out a shriek when there's any predators nearby because Viscotcha A has terrible hearing. And in return, Viscotcha A will use his claws to dig out termites and eat it for the both of them, or it will use these claws and opposable thumbs to actually fend off predators from Viscotcha B, thus making them a symbiotic relationship. So then there's the isopod. The isopod is a prey animal in this universe. It's the one that's often preyed upon by all of them. And then there's Totoro, or Viscotcha X. Well, there you have it. This is my version of Totoro. Thanks for watching. Bye.